was right about Mari. She freaking sucks. Snitches end up in ditches, but in your case, girly, you ended up in the ditch before you snitched. Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 3 came out, and we gotta talk about it. But first, I feel compelled to report to you. One, I the entire time thought she was Asian, but it turns out she's actually Mexican, and I think it's because we have the same colonizers, aka I'm half Filipino, she's Mexican. And two, the actors that play Mari and Travis are dating in real life, and they made their red carpet debut at the premiere, so that's cute. And then I read the People magazine article where I found this photo, and apparently the actor that plays Travis is 33 years old, and the actress that plays Mari is 24. And apparently they've been dating for 3 years. You can do the math yourself. No shade, no tea, two consenting adults, but interesting. Speaking of which, the only adult in this story, Coach Ben, held Mari captive. I found this scene really intriguing given that these are two characters who are positioned to not be the most well-liked in the story right now. And yet we got some really good character growth moments between the two characters. We got a really emotional monologue from Coach Ben talking about how he cannot fathom the situation that he currently is in right now. All of it starting with the fact that he tore his ACL and just decided to be a substitute teacher and a coach for these girls. These two even contemplating that they're living in some sort of upside down universe. In order to, again, comprehend just what is happening to these people in the wilderness, given the risks of Mari leaking his location to the other girls, Coach Ben still released Mari. Because that's who he is. Because he still, deep down, is a good person. Also, I found it really hilarious that Mari was revealing to Coach Ben that she had a giant crush on him, as did all the other girls, without realizing that he was gay. Also, her singing in the beginning of the episode that she's too sexy for this cave and too sexy to die. And even after all of that, and even when Coach Ben finally released her, Mari decides to snitch to the other girls. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that she knows that she is the most hated person in the group right now, and she's just trying to win back favorability amongst them. To the point where even Shauna finally got around to maybe not necessarily liking Mari, but hating her a little bit less because Mari now knows where Coach Ben is. Before we get into all of that, let's fast forward to the present where Shauna is incredibly paranoid about who is potentially following her and going after her. Tampering with someone's brakes on a car is maniacal. Until proven otherwise, I still believe that it is adult Melissa, who I think is going to be played by Hilary Swank, or an older Coach Ben. My money's on the former, but who knows? We still haven't gotten confirmation on whether or not Coach Ben is still alive or not. This kind of sucks that Shauna took out all of her anger and paranoia onto Misty, given that Misty set fire to this photo of the four of them. However, I do think not having someone like Misty in your corner right now, given how unhinged she is and resourceful she is going to not be a good thing for Shauna down the road. Honestly, Shauna is burning bridges left and right now when she really shouldn't be. It's still relatively unclear why Lottie reached out to Shauna to want to crash with her. This entire scene in the kitchen, especially with Callie wearing the necklace, was a step too far. And I agree with Shauna in kicking her out for that. If you recall the necklace was given to Shauna by Jackie. And the necklace was symbolic and a marker of who they were sacrificing to the wilderness. That necklace represents so much pain, death, loss. It was almost as if Lottie was marking Callie to suffer and be the sacrifice. We also still have this side storyline between Taissa and Van, where Van's cancer is not metastasizing and not growing, but also simultaneously what happened to the waiter that was chasing after them. It felt like a life for a life, the sacrifices that they've had to make for the wilderness, which is why Taissa concludes that I think it, aka the wilderness, is back. And also Taissa mentioning the weird eyeless man. I still don't know what the fuck he has to do with any of this. He was in that commercial that Taissa watched when she was a kid, I guess. There's got to be more to this story. There's got to be a connection here. Finally, young Lottie senses that Akila has a stronger connection to the wilderness, which led to all the girls going after Coach Ben to find him in that cave, and that cave was trippy. This is not a girls' trip that I want to be on. I don't know if it's the cave that was making them hallucinate the way they did, or maybe something was in the food that they ate prior to their Coach Ben search. I don't know if Lottie put more mushrooms in their soup or something. But whether it was Van going back into the cabin and stuck in the airplane chair, to Shauna's trying to swim towards her unborn son, to this alpaca? Llama? Talking about the wilderness, talking about it. Obviously, Akila's a hallucination and dream with this animal talking to her. Like, again, representing the stronger connection she has to the wilderness, trying to warn her and have her warn the others that the wilderness, it is coming for all of them. Where we get this lovely cameo of Ella Purnell reprising her role as Jackie. I don't know exactly what happened to those three girls and their hallucinations and that trip. All I know is I am afraid for Coach Ben's life next episode. Maury, you fucking suck.